Hey guys, this is the Iron Woodsman. Welcome back. Sorry it's been a while. Hey, today I'm just going to go over a couple of things that you may or may not know. Say you want to go camping or you want to sleep out underneath the stars, quote unquote, you know, like cowboy camping. Say you've got a tarp, maybe you don't have a tent, but you have a tarp. We don't have a tarp right now on us as far as a string over us, but I want to show you, if you don't have a really good sleeping bag or it's old, you don't want to use it, but you have a couple of good blankets, I'm just going to show you a scenario, something that you can do. If you want to sleep out, say the weather's good, you want to sleep out underneath the stars, underneath the moon, or you have a campfire going and you want to put your sleep system near a campfire. I'm just going to show you one way you can do it easy and very, very cheap and still stay warm if the temps get cool at night. Just going to go through a few things with you. Now, what we do first thing is we choose our location for the camp, and we remove debris, kind of just police the ground. Just go around, kick any sticks out of the way, which, there's not much out here, because you don't want to sleep on, with a big old stick in your back. So kind of police the area, just like so. There's not much out here, but you get the idea. And what we have, you've got to have a layer of something that keeps the ground moisture from getting into your sleep system. In this scenario, we're going to use a simple, cheap tarp that you can get anywhere. You can either use a regular thin blue tarp like this. This is a 10 by 10, but we're folding it in half because we don't need that much area. Or you can go to Lowe's or Walmart and get a plastic drop cloth, 2 mil, 4 mil thickness, and use it under you. It's just important to keep the ground moisture or the debris off of your pad and your blankets. I'll show you what I mean. So we folded this one in half. Okay. So this is basically 5 feet wide and 10 feet long. Of course, we can make it smaller than that, but for this demonstration, we're just gonna keep it 5 feet wide and long to give us some walking around room. This is very important right here. You can't just put a sleeping pad on the ground, in my opinion. You need to have some sort of waterproof barrier between you and the ground. I don't care if it's even summertime. A pad alone, you can do it. Sometimes that's all you have. But I will show you why it's important. So we've got our moisture barrier down, then comes the pad. This pad right here, this is a military spec. This is actually a military issue closed cell foam pad. It's very, very kind of stiff foam, but that's good. It's not going to absorb water. So we'll take this pad, and this is wider than most. This is like almost a 3 foot wide pad. This is wider than most. Most backpacking pads are only a couple of feet wide. But this one, I kind of like the extra width on the pad because it's going to allow us to have more room in our sleep system. I'll show you. This tape out of the way. Okay, the pad. Of course, it's very stiff. That's okay. Put the pad down. Like wrestling a snake. This pad might be, I don't know, it's close to 6 feet. Okay, got our pad now, a lot of people have inflatable pads. I have a Thermarest self-inflatable pad, and it's a sealed nylon material with foam in it. You undo a valve on it and let it be, and the foam will expand and it'll get air in it, and you seal the valve back. I'll show you that on a different episode. I don't trust the inflatable pads 100% because if you're days into a trip, into a hike, or you're one day in it and you get a hole in that pad, then you have no pad. You have no dead air space to insulate you from the cold on the ground, which is why I like the solid closed cell foam. You can take that foam and you know, it can get beat all to heck and it will last a long time. It will not absorb water, and it creates that barrier between you and the cold on the ground. The waterproof under it won't do that. The ground will suck the warmth right out of you. But let me show you. All right, we got our pad now. Okay, so let me show you one thing. So this is a military surplus wool blanket. This wool blanket is heavy. I think it's Czechoslovakian military surplus. I think it's 80% wool, 20% polyester nylon. I got this wool blanket midwayusa.com. I think it was $45. That is an unbelievable deal, folks. An unbelievable deal. We want the wool close to our bodies. There's many reasons for that, but wool will heat up with your body. It will wick moisture away from your body and keep you warmer. So basically we want the wool close to us. We want to put the other pad on the outside, or the other blanket. This one is a poncho liner. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Put this down. Okay, this is a very lightly insulated, what they call a military surplus poncho liner. Some people call it a whoopee. I've never heard it called that while I was going through basic training in Fort Benning. But it is lightly insulated. It's nylon on both sides. It will block some of the breeze, so I personally like this outside of the wool. I want the wool close to my body. This is on the outside. I'll show you what I mean. There are tie-offs, as you can see, on this, which are very helpful. Okay, so long ways is that way. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to tie this off at the ends, just loosely tied. You don't have to tie no big old heavy duty knot, because you do eventually want to take it apart. So we're just going to tie a square knot, which holds tight and releases easy. We're going to come up with the middle knot and tie it right here to these other knots. Bear with me. I'm not going to do any cutting in this video. It's all real time. Okay, so you see how that is? See how it cups together? These sides are flayed out. The bottom's kind of cut. Take our wool blanket. Get these leaves out of here. Let's see here. Take the wool. Okay, tuck the wool down in here, just like so. Notice I have more on this side than this side. There's a reason for that, because we want to fold it over. Put extra down here in the foot area, as I call it, the foot box. I think we'll take the shoes off, we don't want to step all on there. Okay. Now, let me show you what to do in the field. Shoes off, set them on the waterproof later. I don't ever like leaving my shoes, you know, on the ground. Obvious reasons. So, to put ourselves down in the blanket. And basically, you can roll yourself up in this thing. And this is just a quick tutorial. As you roll yourself up, these tie-offs become very handy. As you can see, I'm tying myself up in this. Now you can do all this ahead of time, but I'm showing you step by step. Like I said, loose knots. You see how the pad is way up here. I would rather have my head, shoulders on this pad, and then my feet reach to the end of it. So I have plenty of pad. Now, just for demonstration, I'm taking this jacket off. If I can get it. Okay. Well, maybe I won't this time. Anyway, so we lay down. And of course, you can use a jacket to put underneath your head. I highly recommend that. But as I'm cocooning myself up in here, as you can see, I have plenty right here. I'm going to tie these top pieces off. I know this looks awkward and uncomfortable, but I've got to show you one step at a time. Because if I just cut into each process, things get missed. So, right now, right here, I'm feeling the heat from this wool blanket. And of course, this material right here is insulated. It's only like 50 something degrees out here. I'm gonna tuck this over. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've tucked this in here. So my feet are completely enclosed. My legs are 90% enclosed. Once I lay down, you can fold this over and kind of tuck yourself in, and it's very warm. All wind is blocked. The wool is keeping the body warm. The outside nylon is keeping the wind off of you. And this is insulated. So right now, even though it's 57 degrees out here, I'm about to burn up. In theory, and I didn't bring a pillow out here, but you can use your pack, you can take off your jacket, you can roll it up, you can put it underneath your head. You definitely need head support, but this is like cowboy sleeping right here. Of course, this tarp, you can always roll the tarp inward. If you have a tarp over you, to protect you from the rain, which we'll do that sometime. I'll demonstrate that. But right now, the scenario is it's a cool night. There's no forecast of rain. We're out. Your campfire could be 4 feet from you. I don't recommend getting closer than 4 feet for obvious reasons, you know, sparks and whatnot. But if it's really cold, you can get closer. But your ground pad, I can't stress enough the importance of the pad, the dead airspace created by this closed cell foam. It really does insulate you from the coldness of the ground. The waterproof tarp, like I said, you don't have to have a tarp, but the tarp being this bright blue is good for demonstration purposes. You could have a clear painter's drop cloth underneath this, and it would keep all moisture from getting to you. Now the pad itself is not going to collect moisture, but during the night you're going to be tossing and turning, and you may get part of your sleep system off of the pad. You don't want it touching the ground. The waterproof barrier is very important. The pad, in my opinion, the closed cell foam, I got this off Coleman's Military Surplus, $12.99, folks. You can't beat that. Now you can get you a Climate brand blow-up air camping mattress, hiking mattress pad, but those are expensive. You're gonna fork over anywhere from $50 to $80, and if you can go, I've seen them $200 for inflatable, and those may hold up for years. But I personally like just the closed cell foam. It doesn't offer you as much comfort in sleeping, but if you're going for lightweight and bulletproof design, the closed cell foam, like I said, roll up your jacket. You can use it for a pillow. But anyway, you can leave this tied like this, and if you have to get up during the night, you can just weasel your way out of it. You don't have to untie anything. Weasel your way out of your sleep system. But guys, I can't stress enough. Oh yeah, it's better on my knees. I got this at Ollie's. This is a cheap tarp. This was $10, a 10 by 10 tarp. Now in a pinch, if you could find dry ground and you needed a shelter over you, $10. If you get you some paracord, you could string this up between trees. Make sure it's an A-frame design. This could get over you in an emergency situation. Put the pad under you. You got your sleep system on the pad. If you're in a crunch, if you're in a pinch and you need to stay outside, stay dry, whatever situation you might be in, you could be lost in the woods. This is your entire nighttime salvation. Now, if it's 20 degrees outside, you better have some warm clothes on, because this wool blanket, good as it is, and this poncho liner, woobie, quote unquote, it's better than nothing, but you better have some thick wool socks and some heavy wool clothes, because this in itself is not a deep wintertime sleep system. But when the weather gets colder, we'll do one of those. But anyway, I hope this has helped you just a little bit. This is just one option, one thing you can do to sleep peacefully in a low stress situation. Sleep out at a camp out, go hiking, the weather's fine, sleep like this. There is nothing like sleeping underneath the stars. Any avid backpacker or camper will tell you some of their best night's sleep was when they were not in a tent. They could look up, see the treetops in the moonlight, and it was just so peaceful. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. Hit the like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. You guys have a good rest of the day. God bless.